And welcome back to Indie Review. Alright, so we're going to look at how the SRT Levels Pro indicator and expert advisor is able to identify support resistance, trend lines, and then channels on your chart. So before we go on, Indie Review is a platform where we review indicators and expert advisors, especially those on the MetaTrader platform. SRT Levels Pro 11 version 11.2 is an indicator expert advisor from Indie Review, and fortunately this what we have today is the expert advisor, and it can be used as an indicator, so you can just turn the automatic trading off and use it as an indicator, so it's kind of two in one. We have the indicator as a standalone, and we have the EA as a standalone. But the added advantage of the EA is that you can still use it as an indicator by turning off the automatic trading part of it. Alright, so the difference between an indicator and a special advisor has to do with one being able to automatically execute trades. So the expert advisor will execute trades, indicator will give you the signal, so I'll just point to you and then you have to manually trade it. So if I turn off our signal here to off, to false, this here is saying active trading is active. When I go okay, that says trading is manual, so everything is not going to open trades, it's just going to act as an indicator. So if there's a signal, it's just going to bring it out. So yeah, so let's put it back on. This we want to use the expert advisor actually to turn it back on. There will be separate videos to talk about the various input parameters of this product, right? There'll be things to look at these ones later on, a video on that. But let's look at what we have on our screen. So the SRT Levels Pro EA, the current version comes with a dashboard. The previous one had a dashboard, but there's kind of some new changes. You can look at the previous video to see the differences, right? Okay, so over here on the dashboard, this is what we see. We have the indicator name, the expert advisor name, and then we just have a kind of a slogan saying you draw, we analyze. And so we are looking at Euro USD, so that's the pair, and then period, time frame H1, and then the signal period, we're still keeping it as current, right? So the signal period and then the zone period is just to let you do your analysis. So you do your analysis on a higher time frame, and then you take the signal on a lower time frame. So you can set it up, but for now, for this training purposes, we just leave it as current. Okay, so it means that the signal and everything will take place on whatever time frame we put on. Right. So when you look at the dashboard, we have the bid, we have the axe, we have the open trades. The open trades actually has to do with the number of trades that you would want the year to open at a time, right? So I've set it to 2. Now if the trade, there are maybe 2 sell trades and there's a third sell signal, it's not going to open the trade. It's only going to open the trade when the signal changes to maybe buy, to close all the sales and then open a buy. So that's what this expert advisor does. And then when we come here, we have pending signals and we have the trade signals. So pending signals is actually for confirmation, right? So for instance, let's say we are trading support resistance, right? And I put a line here, and I'm saying that if the market breaks this line, we have to wait for 2 or 3 candles. If after 2 candles the market is still going up, then you should open it. This is just to prevent false breakouts or false retests or false bounce or reversals. So Usually the signal will come here and wait. After it has been confirmed, then the signal will move into the trace signal. That's when you get an alert on the screen. So that you first have the alert on the dashboard, you have the alert on the chart as well, and then you have an alert, that's a pop-up alert, and then you have, if you set your MetaTrader to receive signals from your desktop application to your mobile phone, like a form of a text message, but that's why it goes into your MetaTrader 5 or MetaTrader 4 mobile application, right? So when it says then the signal will come to data source, so you don't really have to sit by the computer all the time, or like saves you screen time. All right, so let's go and then let's see what this whole thing is all about. Now, so the SRT Levels Pro actually, what that is, identifies your levels and then trace them or provide trade ideas based on how the market interacts. So interestingly, for this app, you don't need to label anything. Wherever you place your objects, it automatically labels it. So if I put a line here, let me use this too, so I can draw my support and resistance now. You realize that it automatically labels it as resistance. This resistance, H1 horizontal line. If I should drag this below the market, it changes to support, and it shows here as support, and it relabels it to support, right? If I take it back up, it changes back to resistance. It shows resistance, it shows the level. This is 160, so the exact level that is there. And it shows there's a horizontal line, and its resistance, and it's active. The number of touches here has to do with the number of times that the market has come to touch this line. So it's more like a retest. So he says that that means that when we look back, that we should see it's in another place where the market actually touched this and then kind of reversed, right? So that is what the touches does. The touches counts the number of retests. It's not about the number of candles interaction, but the number of time the market has retest that line. Yeah, so we can do line. So I can put my support here. So I have support. Now, some traders prefer to trade zones instead of lines. So if you had someone who trades zones, you can draw your zone. So see, when I draw my zone, it comes as rectangle, as resistance, right? The same thing, if I should move this one below, it changes automatically to support. I don't need to label them. This is not identifies that it's a support. So let me put it back. All right, put it here, and then we'll do another one for support. Just drawing the zones. Okay, so this is everything shows on the dashboard. Yeah, so kind of this makes it look better. Okay, so so we can see that everything is okay now. All right, so the next thing we'll do is that we're going to look at trend lines. So we can draw a trend line from, let's say, here. You can draw a trend line, and then the trend line appears as a TL trend line support, and it's identified as a support. So if the market breaks below this, then it's going to kind of give a sell signal, right? Yeah, the same thing. If the market breaks above this line, then it's going to give a buy signal. If it breaks below this, it's going to give a sell signal, right? Yes, so we can also So I can take this one out and then put everything back. Alright, so I have this here. So if you trade channels, you can also do the same thing here. So let's use channel, let's draw channel as well. So I'm just going to start marking my channel from this side. Okay. Okay. Alright. So if you're someone who trade like to trade the channels as well, you can do that. So imagine if you had this there and the market reacted at this line and it hit this, it doesn't break and then it goes on. It's just going to open a buy trade if it gets to this point, and then the reverse is going to trigger a sell trade, and it's just going to do that. Alright, so and this is what happens. The system will identify the lower parts of the channel as support and the upper parts as resistance. So if there's a breakout to the top, it goes for a buy. If it goes below, it goes for a sell. And then if it bounces off or retest the support resistance, depending on what, if it retests on the support, it goes for a buy. If it retests on the resistance, it goes for a sell. Alright, so you can trade your channels as well. So I'll leave it here for us to have a look at it. So if you trade this, or you can, if you like, you can draw your trend line as well. So let's go to a lower time frame so we can see if we can draw a trend line somewhere. Oh, okay, so as you can see, there's already a signal that has been triggered. So there's the signal. So we remember we drew a support here. Yeah, so there's the channel. All right, good. Yeah, so this signal is coming from the channel. So it says that there's a buy bounce on the channel and it's just triggered a buy. Okay, let's reduce this so we can see what's happening. All right, so the bounce off was from this side because it's still in the buy trade. It just triggered a buy trade for us. We don't need this then, so I'm just going, and it gives you, when a signal comes, it tells you the entry, the stop, your target, your risk reward ratio, and then the confidence level. This one is saying high. I'm just not going to use this. I'm just going to close it because we're only trying to just draw for the purposes of just trying to see how the expert advisor works. So I'm just going to close this trade. We don't need it now. Okay. So if like you can choose to turn off the automatic trading and then trade it as an indicator. If you trade as an indicator, the signal will come up here. It will also show on your chart. All you have to just place the trade, move your entry, your take profit to the take profits line, the target, and then your stop loss is just there, giving you 1 to 1 ratio, 1 to 2 ratio. All right, so as we can see, the signal is saying it's a buy. Do you have a signal that says buy trade? Okay. All right, so it's going to show you trend lines, but it's already so we can still draw a trend line. Just trying to see if there's a place we can draw. But anyway, just for the purposes of just education, we draw a trend line. This is just to let you know that the system would identify it. Now I've drawn a trend line, and here because it's below the mark, it's showing it as support, right? it's coming as support, but if the market was somewhere above it, it will show as resistance. Let's see if there's any. We can find one somewhere here. Okay, let's see if we draw a trend line from this line to here. It shows there's resistance, right? So it comes back as resistance. So if the market reverses and touches this line and does not break, a sell trade will be triggered because it'll be going downwards. But if it breaks the resistance line, then it goes up, it becomes a buy, it gives you a buy signal. All right. Okay, so this is just basically to tell you that you can trade your trend lines, your channel, and then your zones and your lines using the SRC Pro Expert Advisor or indicator. For the purpose of this video, I'm just using the indicator because I'm using the Expert Advisor, and the reason is very simple. I can turn off the Expert Advisor so it wouldn't trade, but then I can still get a signal which is the same as what the indicator would do. So it's more like a 2-in-1 thing. Alright then, so now we know that support, trend lines, everything works, right? Just trying to see if this, I don't want this to be triggering trades. Okay, so something like this, we can draw our zones. But you can even draw a channel. I can draw a zone on the lower time frame. So identify it as support. Okay, so you can draw your trend lines as well. So just leave this one here. Alright then. Thank you for staying with me. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, comment. If you want a demo to try this out, you can join our Telegram channel. It's Indie Review. WhatsApp is Indie Review. Or you can put in a comment and under this video. Just type in demo, and then you get a contact here and send you a demo. Or I'll put a description, the link for you to make a request for the demo version. Alright then. Okay, thank you very much. Happy trading. Thank you. Bye bye.